All right, everyone. Hello, hello. So today we are going to be talking about the safety and accident prevention, which is stopping elderly accidents, death, and injuries steady. All right. So the impact of falls in the older adult. So the CDC facts as of March 2023, there has been 36 million reported falls for a year, which has resulted in 32,000 deaths. ER visits with fall injuries was 3 million, and the total cost to cover all of that was $50 billion a year. Now, 75% of that is covered by Medicare and Medicaid, but we do really need to keep that in mind just because a lot of these older adults are entering that part of their life where they do need a little more help than usual. So we just, like I said, just need to take that into account. Now, this projection is based on the projection that 1 in 5 Americans will be 65 and older by 2030. All right. So here's just a chart of essentially what we just talked about. So every second, an older adult falls. Keep that in mind, you guys, every second. So it starts off 36 million falls has resulted into 8 million injuries, which has then resulted into 3 million of those becoming ED visits, which has turned 950,000 hospitalizations, which has led to 32,000 deaths just because an older adult falls. All right, so steady CDC Fall Prevention Initiative. So the screen, there are a couple key questions that we ask. So the first one would be, did you fall in the past year? Number two, do you feel any unsteadiness when standing or walking? And then number three, are you worried about falling at all? If they answered yes to any of these above, an assessment is required and we need to report that to the office. If no, then they just need to do an annual screening. All right, so some components of the assessment: fall history, some comorbidities, which is essentially just simultaneously presence of two or more diseases, which includes bone issues, so osteoporosis, nervous system, which includes stroke, dementia, Parkinson's, psychological, which is depression, muscular, arthritis, heart, irregular heartbeat, DM, and then urinary incontinence, which is time voiding. Gait, strength, and balance test, community fall prevention programs, and some medical assessments. All right, so the medical assessments, which is the polypharmacy, stops/decreased dose or change, vitamin D deficiency, or orthostatic hypotension, which is the significant fall in the blood pressure when moving from supine to sitting to standing. All right, so talking about falls, how they happen, how it threatens the independence is essentially falls really do threaten the independence of elderly people and cause a cascade of individual and socioeconomic consequences. Many elderly people are very reluctant to report a fall because the attribute falling to the aging process or because they fear subconsciously restricted in their activities. So, why do falls happen to begin with? So it really starts with their health. So while aging, the elderly see a decrease in their memory, their eyesight, their balance, and just decreased reaction times, stiff joints, and hearing. And illnesses can increase deterioration of the elderly's safety. Now, medicines. Taking medicines can play a significant role in balance of stability if needed. And then post hospital return. Returning from a hospital setting can strain a weakened body by having to do more tasks for themselves that were previously completed by the hospital staff. So, etc. That would be taking a shower, move to the kitchen for food, etc., etc. Surroundings. Cluttered surroundings can be very hazardous to the elderly. Items of particular risk are rugs, beds, magazines, shoes, etc., etc. Really anything that they can stump their toe on and trip and fall is just something that is considered hazardous to the elderly. And then last but not least is fear of falling. Post fall, the elderly become very increasingly scared of falling again, and this psychologically limits their mobility and increases the risk for a fall. So, how can we prevent falls? We should prevent falls by encouraging exercise. So, exercise helps to strengthen the body, whereby the risk of falls can be mitigated. Simple tasks can aid in this endeavor. So, taking elderly clients on walks outside, short stopping trips to the mall, Tai Chi, etc., etc. All right. Second would be to review their medications. So, dizziness slash weakness are common side effects to medications. So, reviewing all prescribed and over the counter medications for side effects and interaction can mitigate the risk of falling. And then lastly, improve her home surroundings. So, tripping in the home is a top cause of elderly accidents. The following are tips to prevent this risk: replace slash remove rugs, small tables, standing coat racks, or just any unstable furniture, and increasing lighting via brighter bulbs and night lights around the house. Alrighty, so now we're going to be talking about safe transfers and how to safely transfer someone from one place to another. So, safe transfers are critical to working with elderly individuals. These transfers allow the person the ability to move to and from different environments that would be limited to them, where they would be confined to a bedroom. So, steps to a safe transfer. Number one, tell the person that what you're going to do, and before moving, begin counting down 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3. To maintain control, move closer to the person. Keep your back neutral, knees bent, balancing weight evenly on both feet, and use your arms to support the person. Let your legs do the lifting. And then number three, pivot instead of twisting your body. Breathe deeply and keep your shoulders just relaxed and not so tense. Alrighty, so the physical risk to the caretaker. So, caregivers put strain on their bodies when working with individuals who have limited independent mobility. So, while following proper protocol for transfers immensely helps, how can I prevent injuries to my back and neck? That is a very good question. So, that would be good nutrition, physical fitness, good body mechanics, and programs for managing stress. So, if you do experience back pain, some common tips are just to apply a cold ice pack to the injured area for 10 minutes every hour. And that is very important that you do not exceed the 10 minutes every hour, because that can actually do more damage than good. Get short rest periods in comfortable positions. Take short, frequent walks on a level surface, and then avoid sitting for long periods, just because sitting is one of the worst healing positions. All right, so moving on to home accident prevention tips. So, just in general, be sure that the furniture, like we have talked about previously, is stable, it's not unbalanced, and just has no sharp corners. Just in case they were to fall, it would be less of a liability. And then just remove scattered rugs and clutter. Now, outside the house, some prevention tips would be to add a ramp, add rails to both sides of steps, add non slip contrasting color strips on exterior stairs so that they can see, and then add lighting around the walkways and pathways. Now, inside the house, some prevention tips would be to replace the doorknobs with flip handles, to replace swinging doors with pocket doors, visual signaling smoke detectors, increase the size of door openings if possible, fasten rugs and mats to the floors or just get rid of them, the rugs in general, add handles on both sides of the stairwell, and just consider installing maybe like a chairlift on the stairway. So, continuing on to the prevention tips in the bathroom. Consider installing a roll in shower or a low rise step in tub. Add handles and grab bars in tubs and toilets. Add handheld shower heads. Install roll up cabinets if wheelchair bound. And make sure the faucets have anti scald temperature controls, because we don't want them burning their hands or anything if it's too hot. Now, some prevention tips for in the kitchen. Install roll-up cabinets if wheelchair bound. Install pull-out shelves for low or deep shelves. Lower the light switches. A side-by-side refrigerator slash freezer will allow for easier access, and install a wall mount oven for easier access as well. All right, and it does look like that is all we have for you guys. So I hope that you guys took some of this in and learned some things that you might have not known. But that is all we have for you today. So you guys take care and have a wonderful day.